Hi guys, I finally have gotten this to work. I actually just gave my presentation, but then I realized it wasn't on, which is kind of disappointing. Um, so here is my poster that I made. Our survey, we decided to ask about the help levels of students on different categories. Some these categories, most people focus on exercising and eating, but we decided to ask about their sleep levels, their exercise habits, their eating habits. We also asked about their sleep and how healthy they thought they are, and we asked about height and weight, so we could see if they were in a healthy height and weight range. But that wasn't our main goal. That was just kind of more background knowledge. Our main goal was to see what they were doing to make themselves healthy or not healthy. Um, if you read my abstract, you see that studies have shown that when students go to college, they aren't getting the things they need. They aren't getting the nutrition they need, the amount of exercise they need, and they generally become more unhealthy when they go to college. So we decided to test that and see how healthy they thought they were compared to how healthy they were. If you look at my objectives, we use the national standards to compare the students' answers to what is considered healthy in the United States. Um, our method for this is we sent a proposal to the institutional review board, and then after we got that approved, a survey was sent out to 300 random students on campus or at home, and of these, about 71 people responded. Sorry, it was 24%. One of the areas we asked about was sleep, and this was probably one of the most promising areas, because 50% of the people got 7 to 8 hours of sleep, which is the daily recommendation. Very few people got 1 to 4 hours, which is definitely not recommended, and um, some people got 9 plus hours, which I mean isn't as bad as getting less hours, but it's recommended that you get 7 to 8, and like I said, 50%. So that was a really promising and surprising category to me, at least. I would expect college students not to get as much sleep as they needed. I know when I was living on campus, I did not get the amount of sleep I needed. Now I'm going to jump over here. Um, we asked them about their daily fruits and vegetable habits, and it's recommended that you have 4.5 cups or more a day. And if we look over here to see if we had 2 cups a day, we did two separate categories asking about fruits and vegetables. But as you can see, there's not very many people who get 2 or more cups of either a day. So we definitely, the students at BYU Idaho fell behind. Um, and if you see this, the highest amount, most people eat 1/2 a cup or less of vegetables a day, which is definitely not recommended. So eating habits, at least from the students that we surveyed, were not up to the national standards. Then the other results for some of the other questions we asked over here. So the anxiety one surprised me too. Most students feel anxiety 1 day a week or less, which this shows that number one, they're not feeling anxiety because they're not anxious, or they know how to handle their anxiety, which that is promising. Obviously, we'd hope it would be 0 days or less, but that's nearly impossible. 1 day is great. Um, most students weigh between 146 and 160, which could mean they're healthy and could mean they're not. It just depends on their height. I get they could be healthy without their weight, but I mean healthy weight range. It depends on their height. And height was the most uniform category, which makes sense because you can't change your height. So it's just the way nature makes it. Um, Most students eat 3 meals a day, 5 or more days a week, which is also a pretty promising thing because it's recommended that you eat 3 meals a day. It just depends on what you're eating, I guess. And if you're not eating enough fruits or vegetables, then it might not be that helpful. And most students do not get the recommended amount of exercise weekly, which is 150 minutes a week. We definitely fell short. I forgot to put this in there, but we asked them how they felt their health was, and most of them said that they felt it was good. But we see we did a combination of all these numbers that most of the time they fell behind on health levels, especially when it comes to eating and exercise. Um, so we are in our conclusion, we talked about how if this was done on a bigger scale, we'd have a better idea of what students' health levels were because this was such a small scale of people. I think there's about 44,000 people who go to BYU Idaho a year, and that's with pathways and online and on campus. and we got 71. So if this study was able to be done on a wider scale, we'd be able to figure out how to help the students be healthier and how to teach them how to be healthier, because I think a lot of it is just ignorance. I didn't realize a lot of these standards before I did this survey. And if we are better able to know what standards they need, like I said, we'll be better able to teach them. And luckily, we have research on that. So if they choose to go down this route and do that, then we can really help the students at BYU Idaho be healthy.